Welcome back, everyone. Dan Hodges with us today, naturalist of Johnny Appleseed Metro Park District. What a great topic you have. You're speaking on this later on. Toxins, including poisons and venom. Set us straight. What do we have here in Allen County? What don't we have?
Oh, sure. You know, Jeff, these are really, really cool things. A lot of people zero in on this stuff. They pick out the dangerous things of nature, and really, you know, anything can be dangerous if used the wrong way or not in moderation. You know, even water intoxication is a thing. If you drink too much water, that's dangerous too. So let's get a little bit of sense with us here. But there are some things out there, obviously, that are toxic to people. And a little bit of semantics here. We've got poison and venom. Those are kind of the two main things we find in nature. And we've got a little bit of a distinction in terms of what they do, and then kind of how they're transmitted. So poisons are something that you can find more passively introduced to another organism. So that's something you absorb, maybe through your skin or in your lungs. That's something you ingest. So there are several poisonous things out there, including poisonous organisms. And then venom is something, it's got, you know, it's similarly toxic, but the way it's made to be injected by a barb or a fang or a stinger. It's made to be injected into another organism as opposed to absorbed. So just a little bit of semantics there. If you say, you know, we have poisonous snakes here in Ohio, yeah, you might be a little wrong, because you could eat the snakes and you'd be okay. Not that I'm recommending you do that at all, Jeff. But rather, we have a few venomous snakes here in Ohio with fangs and venom that could be potentially dangerous. And you know, we kind of judge on what's dangerous and what's not. We call it medically significant. So if you were to ask me if we have venomous spiders here in Ohio, I would say almost all the spiders here in Ohio are venomous. Whether or not they're medically significant, whether or not they would cause any harm, is a different story. So we've got two different things going on. You know, poisons, don't eat them, don't touch them. Venoms, try not to get bit by them, and you'll be okay. But a lot of times, like I say, we focus on these dangerous things. We forget about the really cool stuff in nature. Hopefully, I've done enough segments here through the park district that we've got a sense of the cool stuff in nature, and we can talk a little bit about some of that dangerous stuff too.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, note to self, stop eating snakes. Got that one down. Hey, you know, the other thing I was thinking about, you mentioned a lot of these organisms do have poison or venoms, that kind of thing, but they not enough to hurt us. Are these still defense mechanisms? Are they still trying to defend themselves in a way?
Absolutely. So that's where these poisons come from. It's this whole idea plants don't want to be eaten by herbivores, by other animals. So these toxins develop so that most animals don't really like to eat them. Milkweed, for example, not a lot of things eat milkweed, but there are animals that have adapted to have some immunity to that, the cardiac glycosides in milkweed, like the monarch butterfly. And so that monarch butterfly caterpillar is one of the few animals that eats milkweed. It sequesters those toxic compounds, and now the monarch butterfly caterpillar is also distasteful and poisonous. So it kind of magnifies from there. Generally, poison's kind of a defensive compound, right? Don't eat me, you know, leave me alone, and otherwise you're in for a bad treat. Whereas venom is usually more on the offensive, right? Snakes have venom so that they can catch their prey. They use it defensively, or they can. But in general, they're using it to catch their next meal. Venom's costly to produce. It takes a lot of energy and time for a snake to build up its reserves of venom. It doesn't want to use it defensively. That's why rattlesnakes rattle, and that's why they hide. That's why they're cryptically colored, so that they can get away from potential predators before they got to use that venom as a last line of defense. We've got a couple of venomous snakes here in Ohio, and they don't live around here in Allen County. We haven't found the only one that might have been here. We haven't found here in 60 years. So I think we're okay as far as snakes are concerned. Venomous spiders, like I said, a lot of venomous spiders, but the only medically significant ones aren't really found here in Allen County either. We're in the range of the northern black widow, but really there's a huge gap in this northwest part of Ohio where this animal's just not found. So we don't really have any medically significant snakes or spiders. We do have things like Amanita mushrooms. Don't eat those. You know, we have We have certain berries that'll keep you very uncomfortable. So in general, don't eat stuff that you go out and you find in the woods. And then for the most part, if you see a snake, it's probably harmless. That doesn't mean you should pick it up, but you don't have to necessarily be super fearful here in Allen County.
Okay, good information as always, Dan. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Hey, got to get outside.
Get outside and see our non-venomous animals out there. We appreciate it. We'll be back after this.